Good morning. Happy Monday, our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ladies in our Fit Mama group. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have this talk today. For some reason, this has been on my heart lately, especially having conversations with you guys. I'm looking at all the toys behind me. Mom life. This is my kids' side of the office. Mine's over there, even though mine's messier than theirs. So good morning, good morning, good morning. You guys, happy Monday. I literally just washed my hair, so it's still a hot mess wet, but let's get to it. Somebody say good morning as you're hopping on live. I'm looking at my comments down here so I can see it. I want to talk about negative self-talk today. I want to bring some awareness on some examples of negative self-talk that some of us have it just going on autopilot in our brain and we just don't realize it. We don't realize that it's there. We don't realize we're doing it. And today, I'm going to share with you a couple things, but one of the things is a challenge that I want to challenge everybody in this group to do today and at least for the rest of this week, and we'll readdress it at the end of the week and we'll see what level of awareness comes to you for the end of this week. So negative self-talk is real. We all have it. I don't know anyone that I've ever come across that, oh no, I never talk negative, right? Even just saying the word can't sometimes, that's a negative thing, right? There's so many different examples of this. Good morning, you guys. Good morning, Melissa, Jennifer, Kathy, Suzanne, Esther, Chris. Look at y'all. I love it. Okay, cool. Okay, I love it. So I'm gonna share some examples, but I want to know how's everybody doing this morning first. Before we get started, it's Monday, so let's rate ourselves. Your motivation and mindset, where are you at right now on that scale of 1 to 10? 1 to 10. 10 being nothing's going to stop me. 1 being I don't have any motivation. I'm struggling really bad, Angela. Maybe I need to talk with someone one-on-one to get out of it. There's nothing wrong with that. Make sure you guys utilize that. When you're in a funk and you're in a bad place, Anita was that for me last night. I was having a moment and I reached out to her and she just brings me calmness. My soul just calms down when I just have a conversation with her. So I love it, Jennifer. Hey, Coach Anita. You're still doing your workout. I love it. Keep rocking your workout and just listen. And tell me where you're at. 1 to 10, 1 to 10. Where are you at? I feel about a 9 today. I think I'm not quite confident in saying a 10, but I feel better today than I have in a little while. We had a beautiful morning with my son this morning. And that's honestly been a rough road for the past month or two, honestly, but the last week was really rough. And so I was not looking forward to this morning because I thought it was going to be another bad morning, but it was a beautiful morning. And so it obviously puts my mind at peace. Plus I got my workout in myself as well. Jennifer, you guys rock it if you've already got your workout in. And then I went for a long, beautiful walk. Walks, you guys do not underestimate the power of just going outdoors and going for a walk. I know some of you guys are in places of the world that's way colder than it is for me. Like it was in the 40s this morning. I bundled up because I'm a wimp and I just can't do cold. Like I just have to have at least my fingers and my ears warm. I can handle everything else, right? But get outside as much as you can. Even you guys know our rule or our not a rule, whatever you want to call it, motto maybe. 10 minutes is better than nothing. Like I think we're gonna put that on a t-shirt. Maybe we should put that on a t-shirt. 10 minutes is better than nothing. If all you can do is go outside for 10 minutes and sit in peace, sit on your back porch, bundle up with your coffee, bundle up with your blanket, sit in peace, talk to God, do whatever it is that you want to do. Just sit in silence. How many of you guys are like, silence is beautiful, but I never have it? Then force yourself to go find some silence, right? I love it. Jennifer said, for workout, I'm a 10, rocking heavier weights today. I love it. That's so awesome. I threw my skull in the basement. I'm pretty sure I broke it. I love it, Jennifer. It's okay. If it's broke, it's broke. It's meant to be broke, in my personal opinion, right? Yeah, some outdoor sun on the face, you guys, is such a beautiful thing. I'm reading y'all's comments as I look down, you guys. I finished my workout and walk 30. Yay, I love it. So cool. Yeah, don't underestimate the power of going for a walk, you guys. Even if you have to choose between workout and walk, I personally say do your workout and do a shorter walk. If you can't get the full 30-minute walk in, just do a walk. It's so powerful. And you don't have to do it all together. Break it up. Do something, right? Just move your body. Oh my gosh, it's one of the best things for the mental health that we can do. And what I want to talk about today is negative self-talk. And I want to talk about some examples of it. right? And here's my question to you. As I say the word self-talk, what is self-talk, right? That's the title of the video today. Because I want to bring some awareness around some things that you may have going in your mind and in your brain that you don't realize, and it is negative self-talk. And what I want to do is challenge you this week to actually track it, and I'm going to explain that in a minute, because I want you to track your negative self-talk this week. And you're probably like, and some of you guys might be like, crap, I got to track something else. Yeah, but this is going to be so piece of cake. Every time you find awareness, this is the challenge for the rest of the week. And if you're up for the challenge, I want you to comment, I'm up for it in the comments, okay? I'm going to do it with you. I'm totally going to do it with you. And all it is tracking. So I want this to be visual. It's very important for you to, one, become aware whenever you're negative self-talking, right? And two, the only way to become aware of it is to track it. Just like with our food, right? Same thing. The only way to know what we're putting in our mouth is to track it. What I want you to do is a pen or of any kind, it doesn't matter. For every time you catch yourself saying something negative about yourself or some of these things that I'm going to talk about today that are considered negative self-talk, I want you to get a pen and I want you to write a tally mark on your hand. Just a tally mark. That's it. Just one little bitty line. Yes, I'm going to have you mark on your body. I am. Because I want it to be visual. I want it to be right there somewhere where every time you go grab your water bottle, oh my gosh, I see 5 marks on my hand. And then throughout the week, our goal is for those tally marks to be a little bit less and a little bit less. Why? Because now you're becoming aware of how many times a day you are talking down to yourself. You're not giving yourself credit where credit is due. You're staying stuck in comparison where you're comparing yourself to that person over there. And I won't love myself unless I'm like you, right? Like, stop doing it. And I'm going to go into more detail on that in just a second, but I want you to track this week, anytime you find yourself talking negative about you, yourself, this is you, okay? I'm not saying talking negative about anybody else. We pray we don't do that, right? But everybody has moments of weakness. But I want you to write it. I want you to tally mark it. Okay, and if you're up for it, I see Suzanne's up for it. I see Melissa's up for it. If anybody else is up for it, right, I'm up for it in the challenge. And then what I want you to do is each day, come in here and post. You can post a picture of your hand if you want to, or just post something that just says, hey, I have 7 tally marks today. I caught myself 7 times talking down to myself. Or whatever, however you want. I just want you to post some sort of report here inside the group. And then love on yourself, okay? I want to talk about some examples of negative self-talk that a lot of people don't realize. And the number one, you guys, on my list is self-comparison. How many of you guys still find yourself comparing yourself to other people? Put me in the comments. Everybody does to some extent, you guys. I still do. I catch myself in multiple different ways. Like I'm very comparison sometimes in the business space because I'm like, oh gosh, I should be further along. I should be over here instead of over here. No, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. God put me right here for a reason, and I'm here where I'm supposed to be, and that's okay, right? And so here's what I want you to do on this one. Comparing yourself to other people is one of the biggest thieves of your joy, and we've all heard that. We've all said that before. But constantly measuring yourself against others creates and programs you to constantly be telling yourself, you're not good enough. I'm not worthy because I'm not her. I'm not worthy because I'm not them. Let me tell you real quick. Whatever your scale says, it doesn't matter. It may be, I'm just going to throw out a number. It may be 200 pounds right now. And you think in your mind like, man, okay, I'm gonna love myself once I see that 150 on the scale. Maybe I'll love myself then, and I'll feel proud of myself then. No, you've got to stop that thinking. We've got to love ourselves right now at the 200 pounds or whatever it is that you are on the scale. It doesn't matter, right? Or be like Jennifer and trash it, throw it away, or accidentally break it. Or I keep waiting for somebody to take me up on my challenge to get that sledgehammer after it and break that sucker. If you need to, that's maybe some healing, some therapy, right? Some of us are at the point where we can hop on the scale and it goes up and it doesn't matter. I weigh myself regularly. I know Coach Anita does as well too, because I want to see, but there's points in the journey too where I like to use my fluctuation, because we're all human, as an example to teach you guys through. So yeah, Coach Anita says social media even has us comparing who is ready for Christmas and who isn't. It's a mindset to reframe what that looks like. Amen. How many of you guys have already seen people like, oh, my Christmas is up? my Thanksgiving is up, right? Oh, so all of a sudden we go into that mode of like, oh, I'm a horrible mom over here. I'm waiting to the last minute to put my Christmas up. Like our whole neighborhood has Christmas up already. And my kids are looking at me like, Mom, where's our Christmas lights? I'm like, number one, that's Dad's department, not mine. You just wait till he gets back in town and you tell him for Christmas lights. But at the same time, like they have these massive blow up things in the front yard already. There's a snowman down the road, there's a reindeer down the road, and I'm so happy for them. And my kids freaking love it. Doesn't mean I need to go hurry up and go get it done just because everybody else is doing it. No, that's not who I am. I've never done that ever. We will decorate when we are ready, right? I'm not ready for that yet. But it's the same thing, self-comparison. Like Coach Anita gave me a moment yesterday. We were having a conversation and she reminded me like, stop comparing yourself and your mom life. Like you're a beautiful mom. Like you're a great mom. Like you're good enough. You're doing good enough. Like that's been the biggest battle on my mind over the last couple weeks. I've been all about mom life because of the things we're walking through with my son and his autism. We've had some setbacks and it's okay. And he's struggling and it's okay. We're doing the best we can. And just knowing that that's enough is a beautiful thing, okay? Self-comparison is one of the number one examples of negative self-talk that is on autopilot for y'all sometimes because we don't realize it. So here's what I want you to do. Every time this week that you find yourself comparing yourself, I'm going to do the same thing, especially in the mom life. Because like I said, I'm human, right? And anything that we do, if you find yourself comparing yourself, remember, oh, Angela said that is negative self-talk. I got to put a tally mark. Okay? The only way to fix this and have the biggest mindset shifts of your life is to track it first. Okay? I love it, Melissa. You always decorate for Thanksgiving. It's like your tradition. That's awesome. Yeah, I do minimal decoration for Thanksgiving. And here's the thing, it's a perfect example. I have this great friend and she lives in the neighborhood and she's so amazing at like the decorating and her house always looks so picture perfect. And I used to compare myself to that all the time because we used to live across the street. But that's her jam. She loves that kind of stuff. Now they're home builders and decorate homes and like, hello, that fits her personality. It does not fit my personality. Okay. Same thing with like, I compare myself sometimes because I'm always in workout clothes and I'm like, man, I guess I should dress up sometimes. I'm like, I'm totally happy with who I am. And it's okay to be that way, right? I like Anita, I saw a post, a reel you did the other day. 1% of the time it's dressed up. 99% of the time it's in workout gear. That spoke to me because that's totally me. Okay, so we're getting it. Self-comparison. Put in the comments, I will not compare myself. Drop it in the comments. I will not compare myself. Okay? But then again, those of you guys that are up for this challenge, I want you to make a tally mark every time you find yourself comparing yourself to other people. It doesn't matter what it is. Whether it's that fitness person that you wish you looked like, or it's the person that might weigh so much less than you, and man, I'll love myself if I would look like her, right? Or whatever it is running through your brain. Write it down. The second piece of it, you guys, this one's kind of hard to put into words, but perfectionism is also an example of a little bit of negative self-love or setting yourself for unrealistic expectations. You guys, if you're still beating yourself up because you missed one workout, although you got 3 of them already, or because you missed one day of tracking, but the other 6 days you were on point and perfect, you're still striving to be perfect and you've got to let it go. Why? Because it's programming you to constantly think in a negative context of yourself because you're programming yourself. If you're trying to be perfect all the time, you're constantly programming your brain to think, I'm not good enough. I'm never doing good. I'm never doing good enough, right? Like you literally could have an amazing week where one day you might have been a little off or one day you might have been a little over in carbs and fat, right? This is obviously in the nutritional space. And instead of thinking, holy crap, I should be so proud of myself for this week. You should be so proud of yourself for a week like that. Instead, most of us zero in on that one bad day that we were a little bit over. Here's reality, you guys. That one bad day is not going to set you 10 steps backwards. It's not going to ruin it. Doesn't mean you're failing in any form or fashion. It's called human. You're human and you need to learn to give yourself grace. Put grace in the comments. Put grace in the comments, because you've got to learn to give yourself grace in the moments that you need grace. And then there are those other moments that we need grit, right? That's the whole nother video that we actually did not long ago, right? Perfectionism is setting yourself for such high standards that you cannot meet. Nobody is perfect. Nobody. I don't care what their highlight reel on the social media platforms look like. Scammers are trying to call me, so I got. Obviously, the third one, you guys, is body criticism. This one is a big one for all of us on weight loss journeys, right? How many of you can honestly say you still criticize yourself when you look in the mirror? You still look at yourself and like, oh gosh, oh my gosh, I look fat, or I've got, my stomach is still hanging over, or whatever the scenario is. Instead of looking at yourself and telling yourself, man, you look good today, Angela. I'm so proud of you for how far you've come. A lot of us are still in that place of negatively talking about our bodies. That's obviously a big one. That's usually one of the first ones that comes to our mind whenever you hear the word negative self-talk. You call yourself all kinds of names, right? Let me ask you this. There's an exercise we did a while back here inside this group around negative self-love. And I want to ask yourself, if you talk negative about yourself, mark it on your hand. If you're criticizing your body, mark it on your hand. Why? Because that's negative self-talk. And I want you to think about it. When you write that down, I want you to think about it for a second. When you pause for a second and ask yourself, I just said that to myself. Would I say that to a friend? Would I say that to my kids, my daughter, right? Or son, right? Would I say what I just said to myself to my best friend if she was standing right next to me here in her bikini? We'll just say bikini. And you know the answer is going to be no. And if that answer is no, then why the heck do you say it to yourself? And that's what you need to ask yourself. You need to have that moment and self-talk with yourself and mark it down. Yay, Jennifer Hildeberg joining us in on the challenge. Let's do it, y'all. It's just about self-awareness. We can't change anything if we don't know what's going on. We cannot change anything if we don't know what's going on, y'all. This is why we were feeling super called as coaches to bring this challenge to y'all. How many of you guys have ever dealt with imposter syndrome? Here's number 4. I did. Ooh, man, I did for a while. The part of my journey where I wasn't working out, I wasn't taking care of myself, I wasn't eating properly, I wasn't doing all of the things that I was telling everybody else in the world to do. Man, I felt like an imposter big time then. Imposter syndrome is a big thing for a lot of people. A lot of times it's believing that one's achievements aren't deserved. You feel like you're not worthy of success of a certain level in your business or success in your journey on your health. Or you're not good enough. For the longest time, I was like, me? Pray out loud? Are you crazy? I'm not good enough for that. Yep, I used to tell myself that all the time until last year when I finally got the nerve to pray in front of you guys was first. And then last weekend I prayed in front of an entire group of people in person. And I've never done that. And that felt phenomenal. As scary as it was. It was actually scary for me. Imposter syndrome. Some of you guys run businesses online, or maybe you want to. But you don't feel like you're good enough. You don't believe that you are worthy of it. Yes, you are. I'm here to tell you that you freaking are, first off. But it's a fear that will keep you paralyzed and stuck. So same thing. You find yourself telling yourself you're not worthy of, I know, Chris, I'm going to pick on you a little bit just because I know you shared us in the chat that about a business opportunity that you wanted to do and you're feeling very called to do it. I want to challenge you to do it. Let the imposter syndrome go. Feelings of not good enough. Here's a couple more. I have a long list. I'm not going to go over all of them because some of them don't really relate to us, I don't think. How many of you guys do this one? Ooh, this is a good one. Assumptions, or you can put it as mind reading. What does that mean? You're reading other people's minds, so you think. the person that's at the grocery store on the other side of the aisle is looking at you weird. Or the person at the gym. I think I've seen this conversation in our chat before. That person at the gym looking at you cross-eyed, and you think, you automatically, your mind starts to race of all the things that they must be thinking this about me. They must be thinking that about me. Oh my gosh, I must look fat today, or I must not be doing this right, or I must not be good enough, right? These are insecurities coming out, but at the same time, it is a form of negative self-talk as well too. Why? Because you automatically think someone else, the way they look at you, they might be admiring the heck out of you. They might be thinking that, oh my gosh, look at her. I wish I could be like her. I saw this all the time at the gym when I worked in person at the gym. People wouldn't even come in the door because they automatically started to assume everybody's going to talk negative about them or think, oh my gosh, she's too big to be in here, or she doesn't know what she's doing, or whatever the scenario may be. But at the same time, you guys, on the flip side, a lot of these people that are looking at you, in your mind, you think is weird. That's your own insecurity. Okay. It's a reflection on your mind, not theirs. You don't know what they're saying. They might very likely be looking at you and be like, man, I wish I looked like her. Regardless of what the stupid scale says, wherever you're at right now in your own body, I guarantee you, there's a bunch of people out there in this world that would much rather have you and your body and where you're at right now than where they are. You're always going to have people that look up to you. Stop looking at other people and the way they look at you and automatically think negative, negative, negative. Oh my gosh, they're thinking I'm fat. Oh, I think this. They think that. They think this, right? It's not true. It's not true. And it is another form of negative talk. Negative self-talk. I said that backwards. So same thing. If you find yourself in this kind of a situation this week, you're in a public place, you're somewhere, somebody's looking at you, and all of a sudden, oh my goodness, your mind just starts going to wonder, and then you kind of hide. Or you'll leave. Or you'll put on a jacket. Maybe you think she's looking at me, and she might be admiring the freaking muscles that you're building in your arms, and you just don't know it. Because we're in our own head automatically thinking the negative things about ourselves. That is a form of negative self-talk. Write it down. Tally mark it. Yes, Miretta shits. She's staring at me. It's not true. Yeah. I guarantee you, I do this often. Not as often as I used to be, but sometimes, or it's like, here's a perfect example. I used to have this thought too. Some of you guys can relate to this. We're at church, right? How many of you guys, I was at a women's event not long ago, and this lady talked about this, and she was like talking about, being in church and worshiping, right? Like some people are like, I'm worshiping like crazy. And some of us are like, I cannot put up my hands. I don't care. Everybody's going to think I'm weird, right? Everybody's going to think I'm crazy. Instead, just let it go. Whatever you want to do, whatever you feel called to do it. But that little doubt and that fear in our own brain and our negative self-talk is on me thinking, oh my gosh, somebody's going to stare at me. Yeah, somebody might stare at you, and you might inspire the hell out of somebody because you actually step out and do the thing that you want to do. You might inspire the heck out of somebody because they can see muscle tone in your arms because you've been working so hard for it, and they wish they had it. Stop assuming everybody's negatively talking about you. It's a form of negative self-talk in your brain that we need to switch, that we need to have that mindset switch, right? I hope that one is one I can relate to. Here's another one. Ooh, this is a good one too. Minimizing achievements. I know a lot of y'all that do this. Minimizing achievements, meaning you're downplaying your personal success on your journey. How many of you guys somebody's ever complimented you and be like, oh, I just got lucky? Or you can't even take a compliment. This is a big one that I've actually worked on with mentors. Like even from our spouses when they give me a compliment and I'm like, oh God, I feel so fat today. Like, no, I didn't have to say that. I could have just said, hey, thank you, honey. Appreciate it. I've been working hard. I've been working hard to look like this. How many of you guys have a hard time taking a compliment? Put compliment in the comments. I have a hard time on that one. I'm much better than I was a year ago because I didn't know I was doing it. It was coming out automatically. And this, for me personally, most of mine was with my husband. That literally he would give me a compliment and I wouldn't take it. I just always had some sort of negative response back to him. Guess what happens when we do that over and over? They compliment us less and less and less. Why? Because we're constantly shooting them down. And this could be anybody in your life, not just marriage. I'm just using that as an example for me for the longest time. Now I actually catch myself. If I catch myself going back and be like, oh, these other things, like say, for example, they compliment you and, oh my gosh, your butt looks so good in those jeans, right? Like, just throwing that out there. Just say thank you. I've been working hard for this. Instead of like, oh gosh, I feel so fat today. Or, oh no, they don't. These jeans are old, right? Stop it. Again, it's a form of negative self-talk that we can't even take a compliment, right? So you're not the only one, you guys. I try to be as vulnerable as I can and let you guys know all the crazy, weird things I do. A lot of the things I share is because, well, I walk through them too. Coach Anita walks through her stuff. Coach Lori walks through her stuff. We all have stuff. So again, write it down if you find yourself downplaying your successes. We see this as coaches a lot. Like, for example, you might have lost 3 inches between your waist and your hips, but the scale went up a pound. You downplay the fact that you lost 3 freaking inches because you're so obsessed over the scale number that you beat yourself up. For example, I've actually had this with people that I personally coach. Nobody that's on here today, but I know Coach Anita and Coach Lori can relate to this. We give you kudos for losing 3 inches. And your response back to the coach is, yeah, but I gained a pound. Boom. Another form of negative self-talk. Stop obsessing over the pound that went up. It's probably water weight. You may not have gone to the bathroom. Maybe you ate something high sodium. Maybe you overindulged in carbs. It's water weight that will flush right back out. It might be bloat. It might be inflammation that we can get rid of. It's not fat. It doesn't happen. You cannot gain a pound of fat overnight, y'all. Please remember that when you're looking at the scales. I ate a couple things yesterday at a baby shower that my scale was up. It was about 1.5 pounds this morning. I don't care because it's water weight. I knew it was going to be, but I like to check it often so that I can track it. And I like it for accountability for me personally. And I just like to use it as an example to teach you guys through. So stop minimizing your achievements. This is why we ask you guys to celebrate on Fridays. Celebrate yourself. What is something you did? Tell me right now as you're listening, if you have the ability to type something in the comments, tell me something right now. What is the first thing that came to your mind, which is your most recent win? I don't care if it was last week. I don't care if it was last month, whenever it was. What is one thing that comes to your mind that is your most recent win? Maybe it was on the scale. Awesome. Let's celebrate it. Maybe it was in your inches. Maybe it was the fact that you didn't give up whenever you know you wanted to. Or maybe it was you said no to certain foods this weekend. I did say no to cookies at the baby shower all day. They were very pretty and they looked really awesome. I know Sugar and me don't really get along very well. Like, I want to crash after, and I know my husband's out of town for 5 days, and I know that it's all up to me. I got to perform. I can't be tired mom on the couch because I ate too much sugar. So it didn't even tempt me. Esther, you had a mindset shift. Yay! I love it. We have to learn to celebrate ourselves. This is why we ask it in the other group every single Friday for you all to chime in and you can all see other people's wins. Why? Because if you don't slow down to celebrate you for the small things, you will continue to program your brain to not feel like you're good enough ever, no matter what. And if you don't love yourself at the 200 pounds right now, you will not love yourself at 150. I can guarantee it. I can guarantee it. I've seen it over and over and over. This is why we do so much mindset in here. You have to learn to love yourself now. Not wait until I get to this number and then I'll love myself. No, because you won't anyway. Promise. It doesn't happen. So those are the main ones that I wanted to share today. So what I want you to do is mark those tally marks, y'all. And I'm going to do it on my hand because every time I reach my water bottle, I want to be able to see it so that I can become aware and train my brain to be aware. And let's, at the end of this week, see where we're at. But I want you to post daily. Those who's doing the challenge, just put the word challenge in the comments. That'll work. If you're going to do it, I want to see who else does it. And I'll make another post to type it out or whatever. Because I know not everybody gets to watch all the replays on the videos. But I really want to see you guys do this and take it serious and don't let it fall off. Write it down, and whatever you do, no matter if you have 25 tally marks or more, share it. Why? Because when you share it out loud, it's powerful. It's the accountability piece of it. It's so that we can also help you. because it may be 25 the first day, and I'm just throwing out a random number. But the next day, maybe it's only 22. And then the next day, maybe it's only 20. And then the next day, it gets lower, right? And then we may keep doing it after this week. I don't know. Let's just see how all we feel when we're doing it. And I want to see the impact of it. And then we'll decide to keep it going. Let's shift our minds to positive, y'all. You can post a picture of your hands or whatever you want, to be honest with you. You can post a picture of your hand with the tally marks on it. I think that would be kind of cool and different. Or you can post all of you if you want to. I'm trying to think how I could write. Yeah, like boom. Or you can just make a post and say, I had 25 tally marks on my hand today. Tomorrow will be better, right? Or however you want to do it. Let's just post it daily though, because I would love to see. Post throughout the day if you want to. I don't care if you post 5 times and post the first time you do it. And then whatever you guys want to do. Post as much as you want, but you guys put it out there, put it out loud. Why? Because that's what's going to help you with accountability to make the change. We all have the choice to make a change in our lives and in our minds. And the mindset shift is everything when you're on a health journey. You guys, y'all know that. A lot of y'all have been with us for a while now. And you're like, yep, mindset has been the biggest shift. And if you don't shift your mind, this is just going to be another fad weight loss for you. That's not going to stick if you don't shift here first, okay? So let's do it. If y'all are excited, put excited in the comments, you guys. And I know I'm excited. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see what happens and how things go. You deserve to talk positive to yourself. Okay. I promise you don't walk around talking negative and putting people down all day long. So why do we do it to ourselves every day? It's a question to ask yourself, right? So let's fix it. Let's change it by tracking it. Y'all have an amazing day. Happy Monday. My inbox is open, you guys. I cannot stress that enough. I might be slow sometimes responding, especially in the Facebook Messenger. If you guys message me there, I get lost in it sometimes, and I apologize. I do not mean to be slow at responding to y'all. So love y'all. Have an amazing day. Happy Monday.